Hi, Brian.
And I'm Angie. And today I have some questions for Brian that he is going to answer.
Should you say they're anonymous? I don't know the answers yet.
Exactly. You don't know the answers yet, so just a surprise interview, and he doesn't know what I'm asking. It's not like a quiz. It's just like your personal opinion, actually. So there is no right or wrong. There are no points this time. You can't win. You can't undo
Okay.
what happened in the last video. You can't get more points, but soon enough.
Okay.
Are you
Thanks,
ready?
How serious is it?
No, it's not that serious
Okay.
actually. Okay, the topic is basically culture and specifically our cultures, like Kenya and Germany, and kinda maybe less about the culture and more about the countries. But
Okay.
let me just start and you answer, and we will see. There are 5 questions. Question number 1 is, what do you love about Kenya? And to specify the country and its people and everything Kenya stands for.
There's a lot to be grateful for, and there's a lot to complain about being Kenyan, right? But I think if I was to think of what the question was what I love most about
Exactly. What do you
Kenya,
not most, but generally, what do you
Generally,
love
okay.
about Kenya?
I'd say the people. I think Kenyans have confidence and a sense of nationalism that isn't there everywhere. I think Kenyans generally are proud to say they're Kenyans.
Exactly. I also think like whoever you ask, they will all tell you, "I'm proud to be a Kenyan." I think everyone.
Sometimes it's not because you can pinpoint. I mean, you could have someone give me 5 reasons, and they'd be like, "I don't know. I just love being Kenyan," right? I think it's a sense of identity that I don't know, we're proud of. And I mean, I'm no exception. I love the people. It's
That's
the
actually
Kenyan
so
people.
nice.
Yeah. It's the vibe. It's I don't know. I mean, anytime you are outside Kenya and you find a Kenyan, it's such a vibe. You know, it's like I don't know. It's
True.
such
I
a
remember.
vibe.
I remember one time when we were in Germany, and I remember you heard someone talking Swahili on the phone, and you were so excited. Like
I know.
that was so nice to see. Actually, I don't even remember. I think you greeted him, and he greeted back, but he was on the phone.
So yeah, I'd say the people.
The people generally.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually nice. I don't have a follow-up question. Same question, but what do you love about Germany?
What do I love about Germany? I'd say I love Germany because for me it represents my first place out of Kenya. Like it's my first out of country. So anything that I know that's not Kenyan, be it the people, be it the place, the culture, the food, the architecture, everything that I know that's not Kenyan started with Germany. So I think I have a I have a bit of sentimental attachment to it. It was 2019.
Yeah, your first time. Yeah. Just for context, you've been to Germany like
Twice.
Yes. Yet there's something planned.
Yes, and yeah, it the first time was surreal. It was an interesting experience.
Yeah, that's actually understandable.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not really a direct answer to why I love Germany. It's not a direct answer, but it's an answer.
I mean, it's an answer. What better answer could there be?
True. That's true.
So, we're already at question number 3. What do Kenya and Germany have in common?
I think we both have an understanding of the value and need for work ethic and hard work generally. I think for a lot of Kenyans, Kenyans generally are very hardworking people. I want to say that. Perhaps different people have different opportunities, and that's a wider conversation. But Kenyans generally are hardworking people, right? I mean, there's I don't know, I don't know who was saying this, but somewhere, you take a Kenyan anywhere, give them a job, they're going to excel at it. Or at least they're going to try and do well at it, right? And I feel the same about Germans. Maybe my first experience in Germany was not a personal trip, but more of a work trip.
Yeah.
So I think I appreciated the work culture, the work environment, just the discipline people have to making things work. So I think to some degree, there's different levels to it, of course, but I think we both have, Kenya and Germany both have a certain appreciation to, hard work and the value of work ethic.
I do agree, definitely.
What we do not have in common is time, view on time. It's the total opposite. Yeah, it's crazy how for German being on time is the same as being late. Like we say, let's meet at 9:05. You're borderline late. Like that's very close to being late. Like that's like a lot of people have like I at least that's my perception. People have a tendency to be like to get to a place on an appointment in time. Like if you're meeting someone at 9:05, doesn't mean get there at 9:05 or late or around 9:05. It's like be there earlier than 9:05.
Exactly. Yeah. Or at least 9:05.
Yes.
9:06 is also great.
Yeah, but then 9:06 is like,
it's not that extreme. Okay, maybe it depends on the person. It really depends on the person. Some see it more. Some see it a bit easier than others.
I think another difference is we have a more relaxed or unstructured approach, especially in a social context. Let me put it like that. Like
true.
how people meet up, hang out. It's really not down to like proper. Let's do this proper. I feel Germans are very proper in how they plan things. And things that for me are as simple as I don't know, meeting someone doing something. For me, it's like I don't need to plan for it that much. I try to plan for it, but a typical German, I'm gonna use the word typical because it's a very generalized statement. A typical German is gonna want to plan the details to the T, especially in a social context.
I don't agree.
You don't think so?
I really don't agree. Yeah. Okay. Also, it definitely depends on the person. The planning is more about getting the rough idea of things. Okay. Not everything has to be planned. Some people might be like that, but not everyone. But me, for example, if I meet a friend of mine, we do say when we meet and when it's getting closer to the date that we said we will meet, we will make out a time, and I will be there at time. And if not, then I will say, oh, the bus was late. I will be there at I don't know that exact time, and maybe even send the bus schedule so that the person that's actually a thing, sending the bus schedule. Yeah, like when you meet someone, you don't have a car, for example, or you're not using the car for whatever reason, you send people the bus schedule or the tram schedule or train schedule or whatever, and say, okay, this is what I take. I first take this bus, then I get out of there at this time. And all of this is actually a thing. So it's actually more about the time itself, but what we will do is not always planned.
Okay.
Like it depends. Of course, like sometimes you have like like an appointment somewhere together, like go, I don't know, to an escape room or go somewhere for lunch or
just an
whatever.
activity.
But it's usually more about the rough idea of mostly of time.
Which I can appreciate. I mean, it helps if you have a rough idea of what you want to do. But if I take like that specific example, let's say you're meeting someone and you're sending a bus schedule ahead of time. that's something that, and again, I'm not speaking for all Kenyans. It's just a very generalized statement or just a view. A lot of Kenyans are not going to do that. It's actually a thing. A lot of Kenyans, I'm going to use again selectively, a lot of Kenyans are very compulsive liars when it comes to appointments. Not in a professional, and well, it's such a stark difference. A Kenyan the professional and a Kenyan the social person, like two different people. Like professionally, you can be very disciplined, but in a social context, it's like it all goes out of the window. And the point I was saying about compulsive lying in terms of appointments, like you tell someone, let's meet at 1. You call them at 12:45. Where are you? I'm on the way. I'm down the street. I can't see you. Yeah. Just give me 2 minutes. And they've not even left the house.
They're actually not even showering.
Exactly. It's like they're 2 hours away from. So
I remember one time. It's actually long ago.
Yeah.
I wanted to go on a safari. I was in Kenya and I wanted to go on a safari. and I was getting nervous, like, oh my god, I'm almost late, like showering and all. The driver who picked me up for the safari was, I don't want to exaggerate, let's say 2 hours late. And I was waiting there, like, what if he's there already? What if he's there already waiting, just not calling? I was, oh my god, I was nervous because like it was not understandable back then. Back then it was not understandable for me that this person would actually be late. Like that wasn't
But again, I have to be careful saying this because saying that a lot of Kenyans do this isn't an excuse to do it. It's not right.
And it's definitely not everyone. It's very important to say that. It's not everyone, it's not every time. It's just a comparison from Germany to Kenya. This would pop out, yes.
Yeah, I would say it's just slightly more acceptable. Doesn't mean it's right, but it's just kind of like the driver, a Kenyan probably, I mean, I'd be disappointed, I'd be mad, but I wouldn't be like extremely surprised. I would be like, oh yeah, again. Like I would be but yeah. It's different. We kind of create another question. It's fine.
Let's get the next question. So that was question number 3. Now we are at question number 4.
Okay.
It's an interesting one. What can the Kenyan government learn from the German government and the other way around?
Okay, so...
Be careful, Ruto is listening.
Is it? Yeah, I don't know. But if I was to think, like, what are the first words that come to my mind when I think of what is missing in the Kenyan government? I'd say efficiency, I'd say accountability. And those are two words that you can break down further to like weight like a lot of other things. But I'd say accountability is a huge thing that's missing. To some degree, it feels like the average Kenyan politician doesn't feel like they owe anyone any explanation. You know, and that kind of directs their behavior. I mean, if I don't feel accountable, not even being accountable, just feeling accountable, feeling that I'm accountable to someone, I become very relaxed. I really don't care if I meet targets. Like if I'm not accountable to someone, then I really don't put in as much effort or thought or time into what I'm doing. And I feel like that's what the average, again, very careful, the average politician, a Kenyan politician will do. And then I think there's a notion of, you know, it's like a lot of Kenyan politicians would see themselves as higher than thou. What's that? Like they see themselves as the best. Like I'm the creme de la creme. Address me this way. I am this. I am that. Like a Kenyan politician would not. Some Kenyan politician would not even like walk on the street. They're like, oh, that's common folk things, you know. Whereas I feel like a German politician is the total opposite. Like you'd find them in the bus with you, like or in the tram with you. Not every politician. It depends on what level of.
I mean, I don't know. I've never met a politician on the bus, but would I recognize them if I was on the bus?
Exactly. See, like being a politician in Germany is not the same as being a politician here. Being a politician in Germany is still a very important job, but it's not something that people would die for. You know what I mean? Whereas I feel like Kenyan politics is a very ugly field. Like someone would die for that. But that's also because we've idolized that. It's like once you're a politician, you've made it in life. You have all the money, the power, which I feel like is wrong, right? Politics should really be a calling of servitude. Essentially, the right politician is someone who's there for the right reasons. They're elected by a group of people to represent them in whatever platform, and that should be their job, right? But I feel like Kenyan politics is sidetracked with so many antics. It's like the job that they're put there to do. We even forget. They forget, and we also forget what exactly they're supposed to be doing there.
That sounds horrible.
It is because there's so many antics in Kenyan politics, and I actually really struggle to find something good in Kenyan politics. There are good politicians because at the end of the day, every country needs a system of governance, and hence we need to have politicians. Maybe the wording is wrong, but we still need these people who, quote unquote, we call them politicians, to sit in a place and make laws and kind of decide how things are going to run. We need them at the end of the day. So it's an important office, I do understand. And there are people who are in that office and are doing the right job. They're doing it correctly. So I do appreciate some politicians and what they're doing, right? Because you still need them for things to run well, for people to get access to education, to get access to infrastructure and all these things, you need politicians, but not just any politicians, you need good politicians. And that's the thing. I mean, it's not saying Germany is perfect, right? There's a lot of politics in Germany that is, you could, point a finger and be like, what is going? There's a quote unquote interesting political party currently in Germany, which has interesting policies that I totally don't agree with. But again, it comes to the question, like, we're in different ages of democracy. I mean, Germany has been a democracy for so many years, and Kenya we're not really a young democracy, but relatively we are. So I think we're going through some pain points that other Western countries have gone through before and figured a way around. So I do think we're going to come to an age of maturity in politics. Eventually, we're going to come to an age of maturity. It just needs the right steps, the right people, the right mindsets. We just need to kind of turn things. So yeah, I didn't answer the question of what Germany can borrow from Kenyan politics. I don't know.
That's fine. That's totally fine. Like it's just more like something to provoke thoughts. So
exactly.
Totally fine. No need to answer it one-on-one.
Yeah, so much needs to change. There's still a lot of good things happening in Kenyan politics. I don't want to give a blanket opinion that we have horrible politics. There are some beautiful people who are doing amazing work as politicians, but there is a whole other bunch that's just So yeah, that's what I would say. That's a very passionate rant. Oh.
It was. But I kind of knew that. That's why I chose this question, because I thought, like, yeah, he will have to say something about this.
Yeah, it's exhausting to just think about Kenyan politics. It's a lot. But
last question.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Let's go for it.
Okay. The last question. It's not about politics. So the last question is, how did your visits to Germany form or change your character?
Yes. And the reason I'm gonna say that is, so I wanna broaden my answer. It's not just how me visiting Germany changed my perspective. I think it would happen to anyone who visits a different place. It's less about Germany specifically. I mean, Germany did curate my thought process specifically on different things. But even if I was to go to a different country, it would still change my mind, just my thoughts and everything. And I think it comes down to, it's a level of exposure when you're seeing a different culture, you're seeing something different, right? I mean, you grow up in one place, you become accustomed to things working a certain kind of way. And they become, in your mind forms this as the definition of how things should be, how people should behave, how things should be, how things should, all this, right? And then you see a different people and a different way of life, and it opens your mind to, like, there's not just one way to do things. There's so many different ways to do things, to see things, to interact with people, and all these different things. So I do think that visiting Germany and other places generally, not just Germany, has changed my mind a little bit. And I think it's just an exposure that's helpful. I would say more positively than negatively. Just because it broadens your mindset to be more accepting, I want to say, of people especially. Because you start understanding that people can be different. It's not that, because you have this expectation that people should be a certain kind of way, because that's all you see as you grow up. It's the same kind of people. We're different as Kenyans, but we share a lot as well. And you kind of have this perception that people behave like this, people do this, people say this. So now when I see someone doing something that isn't really quote unquote typical, I'm not like, how can someone do that? I'm like, yeah, I mean, people are different. Like it's not.
So it's
crazy.
basically, it did open your mind to people being more diverse.
Yes, and that's not specific to anything. It's people just being different in their thoughts and their way of life and the view on different things. So I think I'm more open-minded, I would say. This traveling makes one a bit more open-minded.
True.
Not just Germany influenced a little bit, but other countries also have.
True. I mean, by now it's not only Germany where you travel to. You've been to Spain, you've been to India, you've been to Netherlands, Denmark. Like traveling generally, and I really, really agree. does open your mind for different cultures. It opens your
Yeah.
mind for different views, and it does a lot to you. Maybe even without you noticing, but it does. It really does.
True.
I guess it's safe to say traveling makes you rich in some kind.
It does make you rich. Yes.
Not in your wallet though.
That's sort of the
Definitely not. More like the opposite in the wallet, but
keeps taking.
generally
That's true.
it makes you rich.
It's worth it. And I mean, you make
Yes.
experiences
Yeah.
that are so new and
Yeah.
exciting, and that's good.
I remember, so for context, I was working in a hospital, and I remember this old, I think it was a lady.
Yeah.
It was not a single time, it was multiple times, but I
Yeah.
remember this specific lady very well,
Yeah.
who was saying like, I don't want to be the richest person on the graveyard or the cemetery.
Yeah.
I am happy that I traveled. That's the most important. You will never remember the amount of money that you spent for a trip. You
Yeah.
only remember what you did on the trip, how good it was, like the people you met there, like things you've seen, the nature maybe. Well, like whatever is dear to you, you will remember that. You will not remember the amount of money you paid.
That is true. She was an old lady, you said. Right?
She was an old lady. Yes.
When someone gets older, I don't know, I really find it interesting how the older you get, the older you get, the more differently you see life.
Exactly. But you know what? It was not only this lady. I want to point that out. It was surprisingly many old people who were like emphasizing on travel more.
Oh, I guess traveling is also. I mean, we also very conscious when you say it because it's not exactly cheap.
But if you can,
travel as much
do
as
it.
possible.
Yeah.
But also travel, like I mean, when we think of traveling, we think of this expensive, fancy thing like, oh, I have to go continents away.
No.
Like traveling can be as simple as just look for
Exactly,
something different from what you're used to.
Go from Kenya to Tanzania. Go to Arusha.
Yeah. Get into a
Yes,
bus, go to
yes,
Kampala, Uganda.
Your neighbor country is different in so many ways
Yeah.
from your country.
Yeah,
Like Netherlands is different than Germany.
Yeah.
Tanzania is different than Kenya. Like,
that's true.
yeah.
And also, I mean, also start locally. I mean, as much as we're advocating for seeing a different thing altogether,
True.
you come from the coast, see the northern side of the
Yes,
country.
yes,
It's a
yes,
different
yes,
culture.
yes.
It's
Like whatever is possible, whatever is possible for you, do it.
just do it.
If only like if it's only possible to go to town as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like if that's what you can do, then do it.
Get yourself the exposure. Love it. Yeah.
I think that was it with the questions, and I think we answered more than just the questions, and or not the
Yeah.
questions at all, but different things. But I liked it. It was a good talk. Like it's a proper late night chat.
Late night chat. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Coolio.
So I guess that was a good one.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yep. Okay. I
Right.
guess that's it.
That's it.
So see you in the next one. Wanna say
We
something?
need to find like an exit catchphrase, you know?
Bye bye.
Yeah, just-
Bye bye.
Yeah.